Some say it's all about 1925 and beyond. The podcast. KC 100 year celebration with Pete A. Kennedy and Marlon A. Kennedy.
It's another 1925 and beyond podcast. I'm your co-host Pete A. Kennedy. I'm here with co-host Big Brother Marlon A. Kennedy. And I tell you guys, it gets sweeter and sweeter as we go through this celebration of KC 100 years. Today we have a special guest, but before we get to the guest, let's drop the credits. I went to KC between the years of 1992 to 1995. I played Coles 93, 94, 194, moved on to Manning Cup 95, and it was history for the school, but the journey continued. But again, it's not about us. Let's move on. Co-host, Big Brother Marlon, what you have to say?
Thank you, Pete. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of 1925 and beyond. As Pete says, co-host Marlon Kennedy also attended KC between 1986 to 1993, and I played cricket at all levels and captain at all levels. But this podcast, our sessions are not about us to host. It's focused on our guest.
Yes.
We have another distinguished guest with us today. Today we have, initially when I called him, I always call him, Worrell. But when he came on board this morning, we see that it is Dr. Worrell Hibbert. So right. I will refrain from my use of my common tongue in such a manner to our distinguished guest. But our guest today is Dr. Worrell Hibbert, who is also the principal of the St. Andrew Technical High School, well known as STATHS. Dr. Worrell, good day and welcome.
Welcome, man. Not a problem, man. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to be with the dynamic duo. You know what I mean? So, it's good to be here. It's good, and you guys are doing good.
Thank you.
Doing good work. So thank you. We look forward to ensuring that the good work continues. You know what I mean? So we're doing good.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So as in true fashion, Dr. Hibbert, we always ask our guests to start us off by telling us a bit about themselves, and just want to start a little bit before KC, your time before KC.
Well, I'm a junglist through and through, yeah. So I was born 63 Maya Street in Jonestown, and then 1980, mother put all of her 6 kids on a handcart and push over a complex named Mexico. Yeah. And then my early education started at St. Anne's Infant School, which is on North Street, incidentally.
Yeah.
Before I went to St. Anne's Primary School. And then after that, I did common entrance, grade 5. I failed in grade 5, but God knows, you know what I know. So grade 5, I was destined to fail, And I was convincing my mother to pick a school. I told her I wanted to go to Excelsior or St. George's, because I'm Roman Catholic. Yeah. But the reason why I wanted to go to Excelsior, to be honest, and I can't believe I'm going to say this publicly, because, boy, I figured them give free biscuit at Excelsior every day. So my grade 5 selection was Excelsior and St. George, of course. That never really worked out. So by the time grade 6 came, sense kind of hit me. You know what I mean? We had a past student from the college here who came and was teaching us Spanish in grade 6, and that was it, boy. That was. Furthermore, my grade 5 teacher was wondering what the hell was wrong with me that I was choosing them to school there. But it is what it is. My mother had 5 sons, so I'm the last of the 5 sons.
Okay.
I was the only one who got the chance, who spent the time in school. My brother was dropped out of school probably by about 13, 14 the most. I don't think any of them graduated school, so I end up going through the rigors. But the good thing is, my brothers, as a young guest, they really spent time forcing me to read. Mm-hmm. So I was actually reading their books very early, understanding. So I kind of got the reading thing came quick and fast for me, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I really developed the habit of reading. And Annie Garden was tough. My mother raised 5 of us boys, and then she had 1 girl, so 6 of us. And she raised us with an iron fist. So it was inevitable that discipline would have been at the top of the list. She was adamant, said before gunman forced her out of her community, she would kill any of us before, because she's not raising gunmen.
Okay.
And it was hard, but there were so many lessons to learn from that back then, that kind of propel you to do good and want to do good. And of course, school was hard as well. I tried running away once. I just walked around for about 10 minutes and realized I never had nowhere to go and just came back home, just get the beating. My brothers did it so casually that I figured when them walk away, them have somewhere, because all them run away from home. But I said, no, I couldn't take it anymore. So I decided I was going to run away as well. But I never know where to go. So I had to circle back at the house and do what I have to do.
But Dr. Hibbert, I just want to make sure for the listeners, because we have people that's gonna hear this from all over the globe, right? And just to be clear on the part where you said that you woke up and had a little bit awakening to knowledge, and the reason you chose Excelsior High School your first term of taking the common entrance is because you thought they gave away free biscuits, and that is the Excelsior water cracker biscuits.
Yeah, the Excelsior biscuit company.
Right. My virgin really have to stress that the point, man. Anybody who come from Jamaica knows Excelsior. You have to go around.
Remember, it's not only Jamaicans listen to this, man.
Yeah, so people need to
understand. You have people from all over the globe, man.
I know the struggle is really doing, man. I said fast, so we could have moved it and the man bring it right back. Well, to answer your question, which is right, yes, it's the nice Excelsior water crackers and the quick crackers at the time. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I thought all things were related until I got sense and realized it. Hey, listen, put it this way. I don't know if you guys, but remember there was a time when people say KC man them know wear brief and
man.
And that's part is when me reach KC, me realize that the man them say them things because them say alpha girls them used to come over, and of course not like that to blow. That. So you grew up and hearing these things, so you kind of want to run with it. You know what I mean?
Man,
struggle is real.
So what year you started at KC?
So I started, and I want to put this for the record. I started during the worst time in KC history. I started 1990. And I did my 5 years, 95, and then sixth form up to 97. Now, the reason why I say it's the worst time, KC had just come off a shift system because we saw remnants of people wearing purple and white epaulets. I think maybe a year or two before I got it, they just came off shift system. Of course, during my time, whenever we win the Manning Cup, none at all. For my 7 years that I went to KC, me beat drum because I was in cadet. I know me beat drum for the whole 7 years, so I never got a champs victory. I never got a school bus, even though I throw money in the chapel every for 7 years straight. I throw money bus in the chapel. I know we got school challenge quiz in my time.
Yes, we did.
Got school challenge quiz, but when it came to champs,
the big ones. We were not getting the big ones. Yeah.
Man, who calls on nothing? Come on, man. Get the
big one. We say big one, big one.
Pete, let us educate and set the record straight. All KC old boys know three things. It is champs, Manning Cup, and school challenge quiz.
Yeah, man.
It doesn't matter how well we're doing at cricket, basketball, hockey, table tennis. We're doing lacrosse, whatever. The choir is doing outstanding every year. It doesn't matter. It is champs, Manning Cup, and school challenge quiz. So, and I'm not belittling the effort of all our
the other sports, and
the bright guys that would represent us at school challenge and did well. But I does that. And those help to compound those major trophies as well. But I understand, because it's the same thing with me, Worrell. When my first year at KC, 86 was when we won Manning Cup. I never win it till 30 odd years after, which was recently. And then all my years at KC too, we never win champs. So I used to tell people, when people say KC are cold, I say, I understand that, but I tell them, say there are some KC people, some of our KC brothers, me feel sorry for them. Say, why me say that? Me say, KC win champs 14 years straight, You know what it feel like to them, man, they become second, third, fourth, fifth.
Yeah, man.
Them can't comprehend them thing there. Them man, they go crazy. 14 years straight, they have never seen it. And then after that, we had a stint where we win for like 6-7 years straight again.
Listen, I tell people I don't care when nobody wants to. There was a time when I used to teach ethics, and I used to and in ethics we talk about emotions.
Yeah.
And I used to tell my students in college back then that the first time I ever experienced what I would define as happiness or joy was when KC won champs after so many years. Why I tell you, tears won't come down my eyes. I'm after tears go up because I be a man there and so would me. You understand? But me I tell you, say, I never touched stadium track yet until KC won champs that time. Me jump over that defense man and police run me down and me jump back over. But I tell you, say, we're struggling up.
Yes.
I think it was in 2001 or something like so. I think our 75th or 2000 we should have won.
Yeah.
We had a bridge named Big Breed and all them you that we should have given champs easy. And then I think 2000, I think it may have been 2001, but the first time after that crowd, when we won, man, I was over bleachers. And that was my last bleachers. So after that, I said, no, I can't go over grandstand now. We got the winners in circle now, so we can't go grandstand. Yeah, man.
All right, so tell us, Dr. Hibbert, now about you started in 1990. What was your KC journey like for the 7 years that you were there?
Well, you know, let me tell you something. It was hard. As a matter of fact, when I got to KC in 1990, I think it was probably the following year, Mr. Brian, the vice principal, informed me that, hey, Hibbert, you know, say last year when you started KC, you actually got a scholarship to come to KC, but them never knew and I never knew. I didn't even know, but by that time, we were still kind of struggling to pay a school fee. And you know, I kind of said, you know, well, it is what it is. I never really benefited from the scholarship.
Yeah.
Okay.
But apparently I did get a scholarship and I never knew that I got. But listen, I have to big up a man called Teddy Price. Teddy Price, you would know him as Superintendent Foster in a Royal Palm Estate, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know we had two college men in that series, the two police officers, you know, the good one and the not so good one. You understand?
Okay.
We're two college
the good. Okay.
Yeah, man. Teddy Price. So, and of course, our normal guy there who speak on security matters, security specialist was also in it as well, college man too. But listen, when I got to KC in 7th grade, there was a guidance counselor named Miss Watson, I think her name was.
Sonia Watson.
Yep.
And Miss Watson quickly recognized that I was a young man in need, that needed help. And the college had a program at that time where past students would select current students and help them. Teddy Price took me on. I never met him until about grade 10, but from grade 7 to 6th form, all my school fees, all my books, Miss Douglas just tell me, say, listen, come to the office for some lunch money. Teddy Price took me on almost as a man I never met and took care of me. And even when I started university after KC, it's almost like he still wanted help. And I just said, no, man, I feel I can do this by myself now. But so I really want to use this forum to big up Teddy Price because Teddy Price, him never owe me nothing. And he decided to just help a little struggling youth. And that's how I knew I had to put the book to work, you know, so that this man can keep. I remember we were getting letters, so we have school fee outstanding, and Miss Douglas said, I don't need to give you no letter because I know your money going to come later on. And I felt good, you understand? I used to con my mother and tell her, I said, oh, school fee, and take the money and put it in her pocket and splurge on it downtown, you know? Because she knew she wasn't paying any school fee. So I said, Mummy, you know, say, oh, 2 years school fee, give me something, man, and then she give me something.
Yeah.
I would just go downtown, go splurge on it, you understand? Because Mummy give me money. I mean, you know what, the price was covering it for me. I mean, just such was the nature of it, you know what I mean? So when I started, it was, as I said, it was a new experience, and high school was high school. We got very quickly. I got into Sever Gibson, and then from Sever Gibson we transitioned once I reached grade 10 to 10 Forest, 11 Forest. So I was a Gibson Forest sort of a guy, and you know, we still have lifelong relationships coming out of that. It started out at the beginning, but it was easy for me because I grew with brothers. Yeah. So a classroom of men or a school of boys. So it was easy 1-2 for me. You understand? And I knew I wasn't a fighter. My brothers fought for me, so I knew that any man at KC would go at them and push by, but I just call my brother from jungle for come sort them out. And, you know, I never really go into the fighting thing. You know. But it was that experience.
So you said you're in cadets. So what made you go down that road now? You play the drums, so you're in cadets.
Yeah, man. I have a big up. Now this is
Mikey Bennett.
Yeah, man. Q. When we joined cadet, and I was a struggler in a cadet, and incidentally, in my career, I am now a cadet officer, holding the rank of lieutenant. But I really was a struggler, so I was in cadet on and off, go now and again, and spend some time, go up on a couple of camps, get promoted. Wear chevron on my shoulder, carry around a little platoon and inspection, and but I wasn't a visible. I was kind of like I wasn't a visible cadet of sorts, but I participated in cadet. I actually tried out for rugby too. I made a rugby team because I was adamant that I was not going to leave KC without a jersey. Made a rugby team, played a match against, I think, Jose Marte, got a tackle, and that ended my rugby career. I'm like, no, man, rugby league not supposed to answer, man. No sport.
They want a big man.
Yeah, man. No, brother, when the man tackle me from my waist down and fling my man, me get up, me say, not a blow.
Are you could call your brother for them?
Probably they were there to and couldn't even do nothing.
I couldn't know that, but I take the pound.
That was the end of rugby for me, man. That was when
you get that jersey. You get that jersey.
No, them take it back because the school never have. They go, at the first match, Bridget, at the first match.
Okay.
Man, them take back them jersey, man. I never get the jersey, but I just say them just stick to cadet because and it turns out it was a good thing I stuck to cadet because a couple of these guys who are now men and professionals we still link and then they continue to do good for people and good for so it's the fraternal is still there. So I was in cadet, did that for a couple of years, and then afterwards transition into kind of build a couple others as well into the cadet unit at KC.
So all 7 years at KC you were still living down in inner city?
Yeah, man. We never leave, to be honest. As a matter of fact, you could say that I think I kind of moved partly out when I was in sixth form. So I lived actually road directly in front of KC. They've no Emerald Road. I don't think named George Edley Drive now. So it was Emerald Road. I live up there because at that time, when I'm trying to figure out my career goals, I was contemplating becoming a Roman Catholic priest. So I was living in a space that fostered my education at KC, which was probably one of the best times because I live near KC. So when class is done, I got my yard. So I kind of living close to there, fostering the idea, while going to school. Cause education, promote education big. So you drop out of school. So I suppose I never left the inner city really. I mean, I still go down there. Annie Garden is still my team. I love Annie Garden Waterhouse, Annie Garden Tivoli match because I get to things. So I feel
yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but we do what we have to do. You know what I mean? Just to make it right. So I never left the ghetto, to be honest, and I still go down there. Yes,
and that's an interesting point you just made there, Dr. Hibbert, that you fostered the idea of becoming a Roman Catholic priest. What led to that?
Well, I you could probably say that it came out of it was like a discernment, to be honest, as to what am I to do with my life. You see, I never, in my latter teenage years, going into early 20s, I never saw myself as a father, a married man, a businessman, and I just started searching. So from about 16, 17, I just kind of had the thought. And of course, the more I search and the more I, the more I discern, the more I kind of prayed about it and see where it's going with that. Certain things, of course, Catholic priests can't get married and can't have sex. So I met this girl from Clarendon who gave me some saltfish, and the rest is history. We're married 20 years. You understand? So once that was done,
priest idea out after the time.
Oh yeah, brother, it knocked for 6. It's like a court the watch leave alone.
All stumps gone.
I say, brother, leave alone. I say once I met Nadine, man, who come from country, man, I tell you that was it. Wow. So I am happy that I'm married. Celebrated 20 years 2 days ago.
Well, congratulations, man.
So yeah, man, and 3 boys. 2 of my sons. One played on a quiz team this year. The other one is in grade 8, and of course the third one will join in the next year or 2, I think.
He's going to the college.
Yeah, man, I figure there's one thing I agreed with her when we were there before we got married. So if we have boys, they will go to KC, and I had to get that agreement from her before any further relationship.
Of course.
So, and of course, I took her to KC matches before, so she was well wrapped up in purple.
Groomed.
Yeah, man. She's right now. She more KC than me, right?
Tell me, man. I will tell them about the wise. Trust me.
Yeah, man. That's how women are. They're more KC than we. Man.
Yep.
So we did that.
All right. So now, what? So you did the sciences in fifth and sixth form, right?
No, I did the sciences in fifth form, and then I did the arts in
sixth form. So econ and them stuff there.
Yeah, man.
So what led to this career now in teaching? So I want to see where we connect all of these dots,
Brother, there's no connection. May I tell you the truth? It's one of the biggest Listen, when you talk to my classmates, they will tell us one of the biggest ironies that Worrell Hibbert, who them know, is all a school principal, a command students, and because they know that was the last thing from a man like me. Them would
no,
understand. Bridget, listen, I did the sciences in fifth form, did the arts in sixth form, did a degree in philosophy, a master's in business, a diploma in education, and a doctorate in counseling. Nothing about that would have tell us me would have gone into teaching or print. Well, except for the diploma, which I did later, because somebody was said to me, listen, Hibbert, I think you should go into government system, because I lectured part-time, and they said, listen, I think you should go and do a diploma and qualify yourself. And that's how I ended up doing the diploma, and then I get can and turn principal, you understand? But I say,
boy, me just see that I say, you can't all of them that's if you turn a politician. Not if you're going to government, but ethics, business, philosophy. Come on, that's good enough for the people, man.
I'm not telling you rough. And actually, before I became principal, I was the last executive director of what was the Jamaica Foundation for Lifelong Learning. So that was Jamal. And then Jamal evolved into Jamaica. And of course, Jamaica Foundation for Lifelong Learning, it was merged with Heart Trust along with National Youth Service. So when the merging happened about 5 or 6 years, about 6 or 7 years ago, that so I would have been the last executive director. So adult literacy is also a part of my passion as well. You know, getting adults to those who to read and write and kind of know them and know them space. So I suppose, and my wife is a teacher too, so she
nice.
Yeah, so I suppose some of that may probably rub off in the decision.
Man. Saltfish, salt, man. So
salt back. Man.
So in regards to your teaching career, where did you do your teaching?
So it started. So I lectured at a teachers' college in Mandeville called part-time called the Catholic College of Mandeville. So it was a new college then. And so I would drive down in the evenings, do some 5 to 8 classes about 3 times per week. And I would teach courses like ethics, professional ethics, philosophy of religion, philosophy of education. And I did some research as well. And so I kind of did that because that was easy for me. And the little drive to Mandeville and back was always a good clear, kind of clear your mind, and the little hustling too wasn't bad either because it never interfered with the work that I was doing at the time. And I kind of spent, listen, for all the viewers or the guys that are watching this, men or women who you see the moment you get in teaching, be prepared for it to come in like leech, ticks, it not leave you. It's hard. It's one of those professions that once you get into it, it's hard to turn your back from it because you get to experience, I think, once you see growth, where people come to you are children or adults, and then you kind of spend a year or two with them and you can see it. It's not like a bank where you lend people money unless you're a good personal banking officer. We go out there with the clients and see, say, a open land them show you, and then the following year them show you a big business and you kind of see the group. But I mean, apart from that, so it was kind of like that with the teaching thing. I mean, it stays with you and it kind of grow with you, and I suppose over time, it kind of stuck with me. My first teaching job, incidentally, 2002, was at St. George's College.
Okay, across the street.
Across the street. And that was, and I loved the 1 year I spent at St. George's College, to be honest, because the Georgia students and we would banter every day. It's a KC versus Cha. And I all and funny enough, of all the things the principal allowed me to teach, it would have been RE.
Mm-hmm.
So so when we are talking about God, we are talking about God in a KC, the lack of God in a Georges, and them things that we talk about. They would have killed me, but I tell you, say, my classes were always exciting, man. I enjoyed teaching RE to those Georgia students. I enjoyed that sort of teaching thing, and then I did the teaching at Georges for a year because I needed to finish my degree at UA. I was working at Pegasus when I left KC. I was working at the Pegasus as a night auditor. Okay. So I did 11 at night till 7 in the morning, and then I would go to classes at UA. So I did that for about 5 years. And I was doing my degree part-time. So in year number 6, I said, no, I got to finish my degree at UA. And that's how I went to St. George's College. I saw the chairman one day, and he said, listen, send a resume, come down there and let me see what you can do. And when I got St. George's College teaching job taught me the value of coins. When I was at Pegasus, coins never really matter. I was relatively paid. Well, if you're a youngster, I write with my money. Mm-hmm. When I went to George's and get about a 70% cut, I work money now, I get coins in my hand. Mm-hmm. I go bank change check, I get coins. When I at Pegasus, I wear change check, dollars where I get.
Cash. Notes.
Yeah, notes. So I realized that that teaching was hard, but I kind of stuck it out and mm-hmm. do it.
That's good. That's good to hear. It's good to hear. Yeah. So what led to that transition now from you did George's, you did the school down in Manchester.
Yeah.
How did that transition come about now into administration? What confidence did you have in yourself to say that you could take that next step?
Well, I was asked before I got into school leadership in the manner that I'm in now. Mm-hmm. I was asked I had chaired a school board before, 2 school boards before. It's like, somebody had asked me, can you chair a board? I said, no problem. I know nothing about chairing boards. So I kind of got experience of chairing a primary school board in Kingston and another primary school in St. Mary. And when I saw the job opening for STATHS, and it's kind of funny, I actually thought, no, I don't need this. Well, the truth is, after my transition, if I were to be honest, I don't want to say the politics involved. So I can only say it as it is, and you infer what you can. But when the government had changed and the merger started happening, I suppose because people came and saw the executive director, they assumed that it was a political appointment.
Yeah.
And I teach a manager, saw an advertisement, apply, did several interviews, and get the job. Mm-hmm. Politics of it was my greatest fear. As a matter of fact, that was the only question I asked the chairman: is this a political job? And she said, no, mm-hmm. We're looking for an executive director to carry the organization forward, and you are the best fit. So, you're mm-hmm. the best fit. But I imagine others, when government change, people start to. So during my separation, which wasn't done in the best of setting, Jamaica politics day. So I was at home for about 3 months, and a friend of mine called me and he said, listen, Hibbert, I know you're looking a job and I know it's another way to get the press. Would you mind going up? Would you think of going up to St. Peter and Paul Prep to be a principal? And I said, boy, I don't know if I can principal school, let alone principal, primary age kids. And he said, no, man, I encourage you, man, send a resume. And I did send a resume, did the interview, so at St. Peter and Paul Prep for a year. And that experience opened my eyes because I saw the different approach to education at the primary level from a school that is whose parents have the means. And I realize now why those schools do better than schools. And a big chunk of it is not even so much the resources, but the parents' interest. Once parents take an interest to say, listen, I want the best. It don't matter if you ask them for the world, then we give you, as long as your kids are going to be benefiting from it. So I did that. And when I was at St. Peter and Paul now, I saw the STATHS opening, and I just said, let me just send a resume. My wife said, send a resume, I can't hurt you.
Yeah.
And I did. And when I did send the resume, I remember I got a call from the chairman saying, where are you? And I said, what do you mean where I'm at? And he said, we didn't see a turn up for the interview. Why? I said, I got no call for the interview. And so we had a little back and forth. And I said, you know what, Mr. Chairman, just forget the whole thing. I'm not interested. And he said, no. If you take some time, I'm going to call you tomorrow with a new date. Because I guess he sensed I was getting annoyed. Because I'm like, I can't deal with this again. You know what I mean? And so he called me and set up another date. And the rest is history, But the transition to school administration, because it's being a school principal is like running a conglomerate. Every department is a business by itself, and business not in the traditional sense of business, but every department is a structure.
Yes.
True. Head of department is like a general manager for their department.
Yes.
Structure.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the most challenging thing at times is that everybody views their priority as the only priority. And I am not in a position. You can't run school and look at one priority. The school, So
Big
if you
picture
run
thing.
out, if you say you don't have no chalk to write on the blackboard and you need that, that's a priority. But I'm talking about there is no water, which is a health crisis. So that trumps your. But oftentimes people don't see it like that. So that's what sometimes makes it difficult. And and like I said, Jamaica's education is a kind of an unfair system for school leaders, because we are encouraged to write proposals to seek funding elsewhere from your past student and companies, where most civilized world education leaders focus on leading institutions. They're not distracted by the things that the government can't provide. You have to find it for yourself. That sometimes is the most frustrating part of it. But to press on, we do what we have to do, because everything is a learning experience, and you want to make sure that the kids who you help, the kids are the priority.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that anything you're doing, like I tell them at stats have to win. So if you don't buy my philosophy and you still contribute to the school, I'm good at that, because stats is winning, not me. Stats is winning. What I mean? So I think once you have a system like that, then you're good to go.
That's good to hear, man. So how long have you been at STATHS now, Doctor?
So I came in about 6 years.
6 years.
6 years, yeah.
Dr. Worrell,
Yes, sir.
can you tell us what was that transition like, from year one to where you are now, 6 years down the road, in terms of your interaction with the PTA, the students, the alumni, and then also when you finish with that, just tell us how your leadership style has evolved over the years as well as a principal.
Well, year one for me at STATHS wasn't bad. Year two was COVID. And year 2.5 into 3 was remnants of COVID. But COVID taught me some lessons. And as a matter of fact, STATHS was named probably one of 6 schools in the country who could have opened in the middle of the pandemic. So much so that the government came, they visited STATHS, they looked at what we had, looked at our systems. And they even gave yours truly an award, for effective leadership in a pandemic. Can you imagine that? You understand? But remember, and it was easy,
During COVID.
During COVID, it
My God.
was easy. A big part of the job is
Listening
because
more.
I've learned to listen more and speak less. I've come to realize that empathy is important as a leader. And, sometimes teachers are used to the sort of principals that bully them, that rough them, and some of them kind of like that, where they fear the principal, the principal are come and them lift up, them scatter. That has never really been my leadership style, nor has that has never been my personality. I have always achieved what I have achieved by cooperation and consultation. So I take the idea to them and then let them sell the idea to me that is coming from them. And that's how we get it done. So whatever vision I wanted for STATHS, because when I came here, I said, listen, we're running like a school that is not a technical school, and we are a technical school. So over time, we have to get back the school to becoming a leading technical school. I told them that having now been a leader of a technical school, I wish when I was going KC, I was exposed to this technical vocational because
Wow.
and I now realize that at KC, some of the better students were exposed to the technical part of
side,
KC.
yes.
They never even know that they
Yes,
were
yes.
exposed to the better part of KC.
Yes,
You understand?
yes.
The ones that did woodwork and metal work.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Them never even realize that they were exposed to the better part. The little fool man like me, we run go to book. You understand? But the fact is that them woodwork and metal work guys here, so they were actually if I hope to God they took advantage of it, you know, man, because they were
Yeah,
really
man, they did. I would say some of them did, and we spoke to Kevin Scott, an old boy, recently on the very same
man.
podcast
Yeah,
here, who actually took up those parts of the teaching and is doing phenomenal. And
Yeah.
Marlon and I feel that way as well when we talk about young people growing up and doing some things where you jump
Yeah,
into
man.
the arts and can get into that, man. It is something that no matter where life go, it is
You know,
neat.
listen, my wish for Casey, having had the stats experience now, I would love that in very short order I am alive to see or hear that we have this big opening of Kingston College School of Engineering. So it would be an amalgamation not just of our traditional academic prowess, but also of the vision of where we want Jamaica to go. So any sort of engineering that is imaginable, Kingston College supposed to can have the facility and supposed to have the proper facility, recruit the proper students so that we can deliver as our gift to Jamaica. You get me? I say I would really love in my lifetime something like that happens at Kingston College. Yeah.
So one of the things we want to get from as well, I mentioned it earlier, but I don't think you really got the chance to answer. Something I asked Marlon Campbell, who is the principal at St. Catherine. You know, an important part of things, which is something we recognize as well as KC All Boys, is the support of the alumni. What is that like at STATS?
Well, I can't speak to before I came to STATS, but I can only speak to since I'm here from what others are saying. And they would have said to me, sir, the alumni is most active since you have been here. And if that is so, then I'm grateful in that compliment, because the truth is, as a KC man, you only need to remind me of the relevance of KC. If I am straying in my thoughts, you need to center me and tell me, say, hey, don't forget, you know, a KC you went to, you know. Yep. KC man, you know, give up so easy, you know. KC man, once you start telling me that, no, man, me I say, wait, I want to hear, man, me a KC man, me all a box on myself. In a KC. So it was easy for me to approach our students of STATS and say, hey, listen, you guys have a proud history. A lot of engineers come out of this school here, so doing well globally and locally. But you don't talk on a thing, you like on afraid. On our top school, we got to understand. And when I start to tell them of their own successes, that's when people realize, no, man, what school I do it. So right now, the truth is, we're building a couple of things, and we have had a good bond. I've gotten several things from them, and they were the one who helped me during this COVID thing that I spoke about. They just sent anything I asked for. Yeah, and as a matter of fact, we have two things here. One thing here at STATS, we have a bathroom that was built by a past student, about 30,000 US put up or more. And the bathroom is a digitized bathroom. So you go in there, you push your hand under the sink, water run out. You get up from the toilet, automatic flush. In a high school, accent, you understand? We're not talking about
and you can serve it on water too, so that I impact your water bill too.
And we're not talking about a high school uptown, you know. We're talking about high school is surrounded by almost in the middle of ghetto. To the east of me is West Kingston. To the west of me is Greenwich Town and Waltham Park. To the north of me is Rosetown, Arnett Gardens, and Rima. And it's only Petrojam is behind me to the south of me. So I'm right here in the map.
But remind the people as well, to principal, that you also have a rehabilitation detention center.
Oh, God have mercy. When when my boys them a lift up and give me headache, you know, I just carry them to the netball court and I say, look over there. So tell me what you say. Sir, we say Horizon Remand Center. I say, over there, so no one go. And I said, when them get my mad, I say, call out to your friend. And them say, sir, I don't know anybody. I say, boy, better call out to somebody over there. Say, you know, and from the start, call out somebody I answer, you know.
Yeah.
I say, you see, I say, you're a criminal. He's over there, you want to go join your friend. No, sir.
Because a man must answer.
The man must answer, man. The man must answer. It no matter which name them call, man. Somebody I got answer. Corey, you understand somebody?
The geographic location of your school as well has those challenges based on those, the nature of the communities around you, the history of that space as well in terms of law enforcement, security, and you yourself that grew up close by. You know what is happening. So it's important for you to set them straight as well.
Yeah, man. But hear the thing now. But hear the thing now about where I'm located now, where STATHS is. One of the very first things I did when I got here was know who called the shots. So once that was known, I mean, if something gonna happen, I get a call and say, people say, principal, I think you should finish school. It usually come as a, I think, or as a suggestion, you know. Well, I think you should finish school today, you know. Now,
I strongly recommend.
Finish early, principal, man. Remember, you know no water, you know. You know what? You know some of the things I know no water. School finish early today, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm having cadet camp in the nights, and I'm saying to myself, you know, how is it that the campus full of so much adults, and every man is saying, boy, you know, principal, we are provide extra security because children are here, you know. You know, and we are trying to work with you know, they're telling me that they're providing. My man are 2 night watchman me have, you know, and at about 13 men I saw on the campus. I provide extra security because you know I am here and the children are here. So there are some, you know, I don't want to say perks or benefits, but there are some unique
situations.
Just because of their demographics.
Man. And of course, because of my own growing background.
Yep.
Any boy will tell me say come from inner city and say me can't come up there make a mistake.
Yeah. Remember, 4 brother, 4 or 5, them still are, them don't know, but them know, you know.
No, them don't know that, my boss. Them don't know that. Them have to know that, because you understand what I go and do.
Hey, man, this is talent in its full force, man, because I tell people that, look here, man, your environment, your culture, the way you were raised, if you really just pay attention to it and seek that existence, you're the right man for the job. Them couldn't put nobody else there. There's nobody else, because I believe somebody else would see that phone call as if disrespectful, or how do you call me and tell me that, when not understanding the reality of where you just are. And
right,
man, that is I applaud him, fellow Fortis. I applaud him.
Yeah, I mean, every time, man. And you know, it speaks to, I suppose, you know, we often don't talk about the word that's not in our motto, which is resilience. You know what I mean? The never yield component really speaks to our resilience, our adaptability. You know, we can go anywhere and shine. We can step out of our comfort zone and still do well. And that's why, you know, I accept the notion that KC is a cult. I tell them I'm glad I'm part of the cult. You understand? I accept the notion when them say KC, man, them drink Kool-Aid. I tell them I drink the Kool-Aid every day. I accept it because I've come to realize that, listen, may I give you a story before I go? I go through Miami airport this and one of the officers them give me a warm time. And you know, and I've said to her, Mom, every time I come to America, I only spend 5 days. I come for an event, I come the day before the event or 2 days before the event, and I leave 2 days after the event, which is either the Sunday or the Monday, or Monday, Tuesday, because the function is always a Saturday.
Yep.
And she's saying, where are you staying? And I'm showing her where I'm staying, and she's giving me, and I'm like, you know what, Mom, if this is what it is, then I don't have a problem going back home. Then she looks on my finger and saw a KC ring. She says, you are a Kingston College boy? I said, yes, Mom. She says, oh, God, and I presume start cussing a series of Spanish bad words. My husband is like that too. All he ever talk about is Kingston College. I should have known you're a Kingston College man. You're stressing me out. And she there start cussing me, you know, our husband. And he says, you want our son to go to Jamaica to live. I
See?
tell him, I'm not going to Jamaica to
You
live. I'm not going to Kingston College. And I'm like,
She start telling her business, you know.
Yeah.
Business, you know.
she was so angry, she just stamped me thing and just almost fling back the passport. Give me, go on, baby, business, man.
Put on my face.
Yeah, man.
And I can bet you when she go home, she tell her husband, say,
She
you
tell
know
her
me,
what?
I'm kind to them.
Yeah,
Yes.
man, trust me, man. The woman says, why are you giving me such? I said, I'm not giving her a hard time, mom. I'm trying to answer your question. I'm your guest in your country. You know? She just went on a Spanish raid, man. I'm sure she was telling me
I'm inviting her to the event because based on what you say as a travel, so like one of the KC function, they make a support.
No, it actually
year,
was a STATHS function, to be honest. But
okay,
when I go to, so the New York chapter and the Florida chapter, every year I travel. And but incidentally, once some KC man know that I'm in those space, they buy tickets to the STATHS function and come. Yeah, man, come, man, and show them support. And
yeah, we always do. I can tell you, I live in Florida, the KC old boy, South Florida chapter. I must say the alumni in the South Florida here support each other. Any school I put on anything, we support it and vice versa. So we do that because we know it's one Jamaica.
Yeah, man. Remember, you know, the tribalism only end once we touch a plane, you know. In Jamaica alone, we draw a line on the tribalism. But it's one thing in America, you realize,
hey, Dr.
Hibbert, yeah, man, my good friends,
here,
man.
Me tell a man, say, with my first job, when me go in there, I never know. My boss is a Calabar man. And you know, you're fresh out of the place and you know a rivalry. Oh, you gotta work. You have to drop them something there and look here, man. Me and him became best of friends, man. And then you realize, look here, this thing only happens in the school, and in the school it needs to be friendly, positive, competitive thing. And then after that, it's just one Jamaica, one people. And the motto brings us back to that.
There's a Calabar man who married to a STATHS girl. And every time I come to South Florida, even of course, him no waste time for rub Calabar over KC. Yeah, but I tell you, I always say him the best thing ever happened to him is that him get a STATHS girl, you know. But it's friendly banter, you know what I mean? It's friendly banter. Him good. Tribalism ends once we touch a plane.
Yes, man. Yes.
We are friends, man. Boy in Jamaica, tribalism have up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Dr. Hibbert, I want to we usually ask our guests this, so you know, I know you've called a few names as well, but this is the opportunity to first apologize if you're going to leave out anybody, and then you can go through. But was there anyone or any group of persons that left a lasting impression on you? And it could be a fellow student, old boy, a parent, teacher, administrator of sort. Apart from those you would have mentioned, if you want to repeat that as well.
No, that's fine. And you know, my KC experience was really littered by people providing support to me in different ways. And you know, like I said earlier, I have to big up Miss Watson, what a wife, and big up Teddy Price, Ellen Douglas too, because I think those person kind of helped. The person who shaped my understanding and use of English language, a brother named Watson Grant. I think he's an author as well, you know what I mean? You know, it's one of those situations where there were just so many happening to a youngster back then, you know, coming to school, and what I found at KC was family. So Michael Bennett, you know, was in cadet, you know, these were all part of family. But me have to big up a man like Jano and Mr. Brian. Mr. Brian first and Jano. Mr. Brian, one time, Mr. Brian came to me one time and he said, Hibbert, when I was in sixth form, lower six, and he said, Hibbert, I thought I knew you. So why I said that to him, said, listen, I'm thinking of you becoming on part of the head boy team and the head boy or deputy, and then I hear something about you. I said, no, sir, you care nothing about me, man. He said, yeah, man, I hear, say, you're trying to get fresh with a teacher. You give a teacher arguments, lyrics. Me say, sir, no, man. Remember me tell you, sir. Them time the way me I contemplate, so me say, no, sir, not me. And he was upset because during my time too, we had the art student. I don't know if your time, but the art students were at Melbourne. Art sixth formers and the science, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So we were the first group that was at Melbourne. And I think we were the first. I don't remember if we were, but So he was really disappointed that I never got nominated for deputy head boy because somebody said, boy, it's like me I give a teacher argument, me I look a teacher.
Yeah.
And it turns out long after I really wasn't me, and somebody will look like me in a Rasta. So it really wasn't me, man. But it was somebody notorious will look like me.
Yeah.
I have a big up Jano, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wally Johnson was a true leader in his own right. A true headmaster, a man who, as we all know, can draw a line and silence a crowd. You understand? Wally had that gift. So, I mean, those are my best experience were with my mates, to be honest. The adults did what they had to do, but my best experience were with my mates. Most of us came from inner city, most of us came from tough neighborhoods, and but we stuck it out, and we grew up in a KC together, 1st to 5th form, and then those who decide to stay to the 6th form, we grew up same way in 6th form. We have formed good bonds. We have been there for each other's weddings and birth of our kids, and we still linked to this day because that's the thing about kids, a family. And when you go in a circle with a group of men who are married, you're kind of more inclined to get married. You understand? and so we kind of learn from each other like that. And that's the KC way, you know what I mean? You learn from each other. In a spar with criminals, so you have to change your criminal behavior because you're not surround yourself with the criminal.
Yeah.
So just that. So again, it would be the best time really was with the guys that I studied with, but certainly these staff members who I call were also help kind of shape the person that I am today. You know what I mean? And the first teacher I ever fell in love with at KC, Miss Smart, I would love to search and find her. Everybody love Miss Branch, but Miss Branch didn't give a light today, you understand? But we work with Miss Smart still from grade 7. Big up Miss Smart wherever you're there, you understand?
Yes.
All right.
All right, so Doctor, I'm gonna ask you the 2 things first, please. One, to wish KC happy 100 for this year, and then just to leave another positive message, because you've said so many positive things throughout this, but to leave a positive message for the current student body and those that are in the trenches like yourself at KC, because the administrators, ancillary staff, coaches, everybody, and leave us with that.
Let me go with my message. My message to our college, our 100-year college. Want to really big up Kingston College for 100 years of service to this country. Kingston College exemplifies exactly what a high school with a vision to cater for underprivileged boys, and Kingston College really would have done that in a manner that really has exceeded all expectations. It probably exceeded even God's own expectation of what the school would have ended up being like. We have to big up Kingston College. It's no longer a school. It's no longer an institution. It's almost like a continent, an establishment, something that can go in a dictionary now. Kingston College. And all you put in a dictionary as definition is 2A North Street, and done with it. That's you don't need no word. 2A North Street and just
that principal is the cake. I like that one.
Yeah, man. So we just have to big up this. Yeah, man.
Definition is 2A North Street.
2A North Street, man. Yeah, man. And of course, my message to all the young fortisans out there. You guys are enjoying the legacy of those who were before you. As you get older, remember to give back to your school so that others can get, two of you may say something to two brothers here. You guys help so many youngsters that you don't even know them. And they will probably never ever say thank you to you, even if them know or them don't know. But you do it because it is the right thing to do. And I want that to be my message to all young KC. And if the KC men don't feel like them ready to step up to the thing, we give because we have to give. We give because it is the right thing to give back to the school so that we can help a generation of youngsters to make Jamaica a better place. And that's just our nature. Bishop Gibson had a vision. He was giving back to Jamaica, and I'm sure he never knew what he was giving back 100 years later. This is his legacy, and this is what he gave back to Jamaica. You know what I mean? So start at giving for underprivileged, we continue to give so that we can help another generation of youngsters. So that will be my message to the Fortis brother again, to the Fortis brothers, young and old. Happy 100 Kingston College. Fortis for Fortis, Cadere, etc. Non-protest. The brave may fall, but never yield. Every time.
Wow. The wash belly of 5 boys and what I would call him the jungle principal. Oh, straight out of what we call the Gaza places. My gosh, sir. I am so blessed to do this podcast 1925 and beyond, because like you say, we don't know the lives we're gonna touch. You have I don't even know what to say after what you just said, man. You just wrapped it up the right way, especially with the greatest motto out of the greatest institution. But I must say that one thing that you said that I made a little note here. Listen more, speak less.
Yeah, man.
I strongly recommend all our KC old boys, our current KC boys who are there, faculty and staff. Conversation ethics is what I would call it, is when you listen to one and the other responds. Let's listen.
Right. That's right.
Catch you on the next 1925 and Beyond podcast. But although Dr. Hibbert did it, we have to do it as the host here of the podcast. And that is to say the greatest motto that came out of the greatest institution. And sir, you have no excuse, and we know you know it because you just said it, but we have to do it again. And it goes like this. Fortis. Cadere. Non-protest every time.
But never yield.
See you again on the next 1925 and Beyond podcast. Fortis then, Fortis now. Fortis forever.